There is the sound of the genuine in you that has the power to resonate with others. The mission of Resonate Coaching is that personal transformation leads to communal transformation.
Since we've known each other so long, it's been truly an honor to see your journey. And I've always admired how you're such a clear communicator, and that clear communication skill is on top of this true desire to help people on an individual level and then also as a group. And so I'm so happy to hear about all this as you're launching. This is my old friend, Libby Hugus, and we just spent the weekend with friends exploring the Wyoming countryside and hiking through the mountains and enjoying the scenery. And then we got to talking, and I realized that you're opening a coaching business. So can you tell me more about that?
With pleasure. So Resonate Coaching is a mental fitness coaching service where I am the lead mental fitness coach. So here's what mental fitness is. I work with leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs to help them identify where they're looping in self-sabotage behavior. And that might feel sometimes like an internal treadmill where you're like constantly attempting to control an outcome, or you're constantly trying to avoid working on a project that matters a lot to you, or you're using your energy to be hyper focused on all of the little intricate details before taking the leap and taking a risk. So when we identify those loops, then my work as a mental fitness coach is simply to teach people to step off of that treadmill or turn down the speed on the treadmill initially, rather than their survival brain, lead their lives from their thriving brain.
Because at some point I want to ask you, like, what is your, I can hand you the mic and ask you, like, what's the message for the world?
Sure.
But before we get there, maybe what do you see as some of the challenges? Like, what causes the sluggishness in the mental fitness? And how do you help people overcome that?
I think the sluggishness in our mental fitness it comes from a place of survival brain. So if you can think about your brain with like a net neutral sort of baseline where you're not stuck in negative emotions or negative reactions, but you're also not like activated to go think creatively or find solutions or live on the solution side of the problem, then this is net neutral. The thing that creates the sluggishness on the other side of net neutral is when we are unaware of how our negative emotions or fears or survival instincts are the energy that's draining who we want to be in the world. Is like, how do you want to move through your day? Do you want to move through your day powered up from what's called sage brain in the operating system that I use called positive intelligence? Or do you want to move through the day consciously and subconsciously draining your battery with negative reactions and negative emotions?
That makes a lot of sense. And what you said there about saboteur brain versus sage brain, what are some of the, like when someone's at their peak operating out of sage brain, what are some of the like signals or signs that someone's operating out of their like highest potential?
Yeah, what a cool question. In my business, I utilize a system called positive intelligence that was developed by a researcher named Shirzad Chamine. And Shirzad sort of brought together all of these scientific backgrounds and did a bunch of analysis with over 500,000 participants, and then brought that down to understanding what those saboteurs were, and then observed in the human brain and the human ability what he calls the 5 sage powers. So in answer to your question, I'll name all 5 of them and then I'll give an example. The 5 sage powers are explore, empathy, navigate, innovate, activate. So a person who is operating out of peak sage brain is a person that has access to those 5 sage powers, who can sort of slow down their reactive behavior enough to respond from pulling from one of those powers that makes sense in the moment. So I gave you a silly example where I was on my way here to meet all of my friends in the mountains, and I had made a quick grocery run, and I was like, I do actually want a cup of coffee. I'm going to run in and grab a cup of coffee before I hit the road. The barista shared with me, this lid doesn't feel quite right. So I took a minute, messed with the lid, felt like it was on, but when I got to my car, the lid popped off and the coffee spilled on me, and it actually physically burned my skin. It dripped on my cute sweater, dripped on my cute jeans, and I was way bummed about it. But in the moment, I had enough muscle memory built up to say to myself, okay, I have some options here. What are my options? So while I gave myself the freedom to swear because it hurt my skin, it burnt my skin, I also had enough bandwidth from my sage brain to navigate what my options were in the moment, empathize with myself and be like, it sucks that your cute outfit has coffee spilled on it, and it really sucks that you burnt your skin. And like, it's the sage power is the yes and of your brain. And here are your options to get you to your destination. You can hop in the car. Like, I was trying to debate, should I run home and change clothes? But I realized I didn't have that kind of time. So I can hop in the car. I can be sad that my clothes have coffee on them. And I can get to my destination safely and on time without anger boiling down here. So Sage Brain told me pause. Sage Brain told me navigate. Sage Brain told me empathize. And then once I had done all of that, activate to move forward.
And those 5 principles are really like the gold of moving forward in life and meeting your goals. I want to know a little bit of the backstory. What part of your journey inspired you to start offering this service, and how was it kind of born?
I got inspired to be a mental fitness coach because mental fitness coaching found me when I was looping. Literally, mental fitness coaching came into my life when I was leaning toward this life of growth mindset over fixed mindset. And I had tools that were available to me, but I didn't have the operating system, the trellis, the ladder, the container by which to exercise my own magical powers, my own mental fitness. So mental fitness found me the year after 2020. So it was right at the beginning of 2021. We'd all just been slammed in the face by a global pandemic. I had had my second child. I had had an incredibly dark postpartum anxiety experience where my whole body was just revolting against anxiety. And I was being trained to be a professional coach through an incredible service called International Coach Federation. And a friend of mine in that system, he and I had really similar outlooks on the world. And he was like, Libby, go. This program is giving grants to coaches for free right now. Jump in, try it out, see if it resonates. I have a sense that it's going to resonate with you. And when I got into it, what I realized was my own power and my own agency over my thoughts, my emotions, and my gut. Those 3 intelligence centers clicked for me, and I had power to exercise my own mental agency and power. That was the inspiration. I think my message for the world out of Resonate Coaching and mental fitness is this. There is the sound of the genuine in you that has the power to resonate with others. And when you give yourself the gift of peeling back the conditioning and the limiting beliefs that have gotten in the way of you being in touch with that genuine self, it actually gifts you and the world with your good magic. So my whole calling in the world is to give my good magic to the world. The way that I do that is by practicing mental fitness. The mission of Resonate Coaching is that personal transformation leads to communal transformation. And I want you to resonate with the sound of the genuine in your own soul so that the world can be gifted with your good magic. And I want to give a little bit of credit where credit is due here. Howard Thurman was this incredible theologian, philosopher, activist who gave this incredible commencement speech around that theme of the sound of the genuine. And that's where the inspiration for the branding behind my work and my business came into play, is resonating with the sound of that in your soul and gifting yourself and everybody you encounter with that. So if you can be a person who's on a mission to peel that back and find that for yourself, it's going to help heal you and it's going to help heal the world.
I love that. As you were starting to share, I was getting like the feeling of shivers of like, this is the goal. Like, this is what you're bringing to the world.
Does it
really
feel
is.
like it feels precise? It feels true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're activating everyone into their highest form of expression for the communal good.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful and so important.
Thank you.
I did think of one more practical question. Like, if I were to sign up for your coaching program, what does the program consist of?
I love this question. So my flagship offering, my best program that I offer through Resonate Coaching is called the Saboteur Eliminator Experience. It's kind of an 8-week intensive where I take you through the basics of building the muscle memory of mental fitness. Those 3 muscles are this: interceptor, self-command, and sage brain activator. So we go through step by step in those 8 weeks to learn the basics of your brain science, the basics of how your brain has survived until this point. You start with a saboteur assessment, so it gives you your baseline of how you're currently operating. And then we just slowly build out the muscle memory of how you can activate those 5 sage powers that I recommended. What's great about the program is that it has video-based learning over the weekend, app-based practice, like you literally go to the mental fitness gym to practice those mental muscle reps over and over and over again for 4 days, and then 1 hour of one-to-one coaching support from me per week during those 8 weeks, plus access to me via text and email as much as you need. So the way that we work through it is basically just the foundations of brain science, learning to activate sage brain and quiet saboteur brain, turn the volume down on saboteur brain. And then it's very interactive, very daily practice based. Would love to have you in it. You can find me at The Human Resonator Coach on YouTube and resonatenow.live on the magical interwebs, resonatenow.live.
It truly is a joy to witness your life and to share in part in that. So yeah, best of luck on your journey. And I know everything is going to be like ripples going out into the universe and creating just more and more good for the whole world.
Inspiration is genuine. So thank you so, so much for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you for being here sharing.
You're welcome.
All right, that's a wrap. Because you're doing great. I feel like you're born for interviews.